Welcome to the podcast. I'm your host, Mae.
I'm Max.
And I'm Ben, and we were had.
Can you believe it?
There are twists and there are turns.
Defleshed is a standard death.
Oh, that's fun.
We were had.
We were. First of all, I'd like to apologize for the way I said we were had. It was awkward and weird. Let's get to the subject and move on from that. We're talking about the Mary Celeste. We're talking about a ghost ship.
Right.
Okay.
Our first.
When you say a first of many, hopefully.
Never forget your first.
When you say ghost ship, do you mean it's a ship made of ghosts? It's a ship for ghosts that they ride, or did the ship itself become a ghost?
All of the above. It's
Okay.
definitely.
It is the window.
No, I like that.
No, the motorcycle. I
background
think. No one
is good.
noticed the motorcycle before.
No, if we shut the window, I'm gonna pass out. It's already hot enough in here.
Okay, we apologize.
Whatever,
Every once in a while, there's going to be a
motorcycle and maybe a beep and people getting arrested outside.
It's New York City.
Yeah, there'll be a fire truck, and you
that's
guys will be
folly.
annoyed. Think about the people that they're
People
rescuing.
pay extra to build that kind of background noise,
Yeah, that's definitely true.
right?
So a ghost ship means that it was abandoned, mysteriously abandoned.
Like nobody was on board.
Nobody was
like
on
a ghost
board.
town almost.
Yes.
Yeah, the Roanoke
Got
of
really
ships.
excited
Yeah.
for no reason.
Yeah.
I was just-
So the ship was just sailing. I don't know if it's a sailboat. What is it?
okay, so
Mary
technically,
Celeste. That sounds like it would be the name of a brigantine. If I had to.
you always spot your brigantines.
I know a brigantine. I do.
By the way, they refer to it constantly as or consistently as she on the Wikipedia page, and it
Yeah.
gets a little confusing with the pronouns because you keep thinking
Yeah.
it's a person.
Well, then, did
Well-
they have female sailors back then?
But boats are always women.
both exactly. So boats
Usually.
are always called women.
There's no
and
boat
then-
named Brad or
Yeah.
something, you know?
Oh. Let's start it.
Yeah.
Dude
Maybe
boats
I'll buy
are-
a boat.
So
Name
it
it
was an
Brad.
American merchant ship, although technically, as Max alluded to, it was a brigantine, which is a two-mast sailing vessel with a fully square rigged foremast and at least two sails on the main mast, a square topsail and a gaff sail, mainsail, behind the mast. And now Greg just...
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
of
Well, on a
distractions here.
brigantine, the main mast is the second and taller of the two masts, yes?
The main mast...
Max is just reading off of the notes that are in front of us.
Oh, yes, it is the second. We're calling it a ship. We're going to call
call it
the
a
Mary
ship.
Celeste a ship.
And it's a woman. Don't
It is-
misgender.
We're going to call it ship, pronouns she, her. And it was discovered adrift and deserted in the Atlantic Ocean near the Azores Islands, which is in the middle of the Atlantic, but a little closer to the Europe and North Africa side.
Not like the Azores? That's a different thing.
Oh, is that, did I just totally mispronounce it?
Well, I don't know, actually. The Azores is a part of Portugal, and it's like in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean.
Then it must be the Azores.
Okay.
I apologize. It's not that near Portugal, but Portugal would be I believe the closest country to it.
Okay, or maybe there is an Azores Islands, and that's a separate thing, but carry on.
I feel like you're definitely right.
Yeah.
So the ship was originally built for the British in Nova Scotia in Canada in 1861. It was named the Amazon originally. And it seems like
Jeffrey
this
Bezos.
ship... Oh, yeah.
Jeffrey Bezos. Killing it even back then. Wow.
I know.
Okay.
And it was kind of cursed from the beginning, or at least in retrospect, people
Did the
think it was.
captain not let the sailors pee? Did they have to, they weren't able to take breaks? Much like Jeffrey Bezos?
Oh.
Oh, my God.
I was like, is that a thing? I
yeah,
don't know.
it
What?
was just...
So that reduced scurvy? Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
And that time, once again, I thought you were just reading off the notes, and I was like, what have I written? What is... From the beginning, its maiden
Right.
voyage, the captain died of pneumonia.
Oof.
Oh,
So
what's
that's
a
not
maiden
good.
voyage? That just means the first voyage?
First voyage,
Okay.
yeah. Its second voyage, I couldn't tell if it was the second voyage or actually the same voyage as later on, but anyway, the ship collides with fishing equipment and ran into and sank a brig in the English Channel. So
shit.
right away, it's like not a
Are
successful
they just
boat.
hiring like wicked shitty people that don't know what they're doing?
Maybe, but when we get into the main thing, the guy's definitely experienced.
Okay.
So later on, there's a later voyage, I think a few years after, where it's driven ashore in a storm and was so badly damaged that the ship's owners, abandoned her as a wreck. And they actually sold it to Americans as a wreck.
Okay.
So like not even as a
So they're like,
ship.
here's some like parts and you can build something actually
Yeah,
usable.
here's cheap trash
Yeah.
in 1868.
Okay. I want to know how
Eventually-
much it was sold for. We don't know that information.
Yeah,
though.
probably nothing.
Yeah, yeah.
Probably.
How do they get that ship back to be able to be sold? I don't understand.
Just like
You can't tow it. If it's so badly damaged, how is it still floating?
True.
That's a good point. I have no idea.
All right.
I asked the hard-hitting questions.
That's true. So the ship is still they rebuild it up, they make it saleable again,
Right.
and it eventually gets into the hands of Captain Benjamin Briggs, who was born in Wareham. Am I pronouncing it right?
Yes, you are.
Wareham, Massachusetts. Thought May and our Massachusetts listeners would like to know that. And he owns a third of it, and he's also now the captain of the boat.
Okay.
So here's the main event. November 7th, 1872, Briggs leaves from New York City to supervise. Well, he's there. Basically, the ship it's a merchant ship. It's going to go from New York City to Genoa, Italy, and it's carrying barrels of denatured alcohol, which is essentially regular ethanol, but like with additives in it to make it either poisonous or nauseating. I couldn't.
Why
Why?
the fuck would anybody want to drink that?
So I believe that it's alcohol that's going to be used for like fuel and shit like that, not for drinking. And the reason why you make it messed up is for tax reasons, I think.
Huh.
Because you tax drinking alcohol is taxed a lot.
I thought it
I
was so
see.
that the people on board don't drink it on the way over.
Well, it's possible that they.
That they did get into it.
Oh.
But this stuff can like really, you can like blind you. It can like really fuck you up if you
Yeah.
do get exposed to it.
It's like drinking arsenic, basically.
Yeah, I mean it's
Wow.
poison.
Poison.
Yeah.
Jet fuel.
So on the ship is Briggs. He brings his wife. He brings his 2-year-old daughter. Not his son, who is school age. He's left behind. And there are 7 crewmen. And on December 4th, okay, so they leave November 7th, 1872. On December 4th, there's here's the main event.
Okay.
December 4th. Sorry.
Did you read this before?
I did read it before. I just stopped at Brigantine. Less than a month later, on December 4th, a Canadian ship called De Gratia is between Portugal and how'd you pronounce it?
I said Azores, but
Azores.
maybe it is Azores.
I think you're definitely
I'm gonna
right.
with you. Azores does not sound like that. At least the native pronunciation.
my friends traveled there and they pronounced it Azores.
I think you're definitely right because I think I misspelled it with an O at the end instead of an E at the end the first time I wrote it in the notes. So let's go with Azores.
Azores sounds nice.
Okay.
Between the Azores and Portugal, this Canadian ship found the Mary Celeste.
Okay.
the
And
Mary
it's just like
Celeste,
floating on the boat. It's just like traveling around.
yes, completely abandoned. It's kind of coming unsteadily towards them.
Oh shit.
So here's the information. Here's what we see on the ship. No one. So
Good.
no people without a trace. There are a few broken cases of alcohol. Most of the alcohol is still like in the cases, but there are a few broken cases. Afraid. What was that sound? Really?
Yeah.
There's a frayed rope trailing behind the ship, and there's no lifeboat anymore on the ship. So there's like a frayed rope, but no lifeboat. So
Okay. Got it. So the idea is that they tried to flee on the lifeboat.
that's very possible.
Flee from
Right.
what?
Exactly.
Pirates?
Pirates.
One of the
Mutiny?
possibilities. Mutiny is a possibility. You guys are already getting them.
Listen, we're ship people.
That's not really helpful because we need brigantine people at a time like this.
okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, all right. What happened to her? All right, go on.
So the other thing, so no lifeboat. There were no obvious signs of fire or violence.
How was the main hatch?
The main. The main. What's in the hatch, Boone?
Would you say it was secure or no?
I would say in my
That's a great reference.
in my expert opinion, it was secure. Yes.
Okay,
in my
thank
opinion,
you.
the hatch cover was secure.
Uh-huh.
But the fore and the lazarette hatches were open.
no.
Their covers beside them on the deck. This one's significant. There was about 3.5 feet of water in the hold, a significant but not alarming amount for a ship of this size. But maybe there was like a water pump break. So speaking of like reasons why they might want to fuck off, that's
Yeah.
possible.
Okay.
A makeshift sounding rod, which is just a device for.
Like
Which-
that kind of sound?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's
Pew,
what's
pew, pew. They're just mixing beats up there. Pew, pew, pew. DJ.
DJ Briggs.
That's good.
That is good.
Wow.
So Yeah. So the sounding rod's a device for measuring the amount of water in the hold. That was found abandoned on the deck, and that's actually somewhat significant for one of the theories. Mm-hmm. A few personal items scattered about Briggs's cabin, including a sheathed sword under the bed, but most of the ship's papers were missing, along with the captain's navigational instruments.
Okay.
So again,
Which
if
would
they
imply
bailed...
He took it with them.
Yes.
On the
Yeah.
lifeboat.
But here's what's strange. I'll say this one more thing before the really strange thing. So galley equipment was neatly stowed away here. There was no food prepared or under preparation, but there were ample provisions in the stores. In other words, they may have brought the navigational equipment if they left, but no food.
Why would you not
That's
bring
weird.
the food?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Seems silly.
Got to bring that doof. That's what I call food.
Oh my god.
Food backwards. Isn't that cute?
Oh, but it doesn't sound cute. I'll tell you that. Imagine eating a plate of doof.
Why don't you just do that with every word?
Yeah.
I don't even... Why?
Hi, Gerg.
Oh, Gerg is kind of cute.
Gerg is cute.
It's almost
Gergie. Yeah.
palindrome.
Yeah.
Yes.
Max.
All right.
Okay.
Did they find the daily log?
Well, I was about to get to the fact that they found the daily log in the mate's cabin, and the final entry was dated on 8 a.m. on November 25th.
Let him lick your
So,
cup. Thank you. Let him lick your cup. He likes it.
he was pushing though.
Let him push it.
Hold
Yeah.
it up and let him lick.
What? Oh, I have nothing against him licking. For the
Let him
record,
lick it.
Greg is trying
Let him
to
push
lick.
it. He's pushing.
I told
it.
you he's
He
pushing.
wants to play. Let him play.
He's pushing.
Hold it like this. Let me show you how he likes it.
Just do this. Basically, just hold him like
yeah,
this.
Yeah.
Boy,
That's
I
how he
look
likes
like
it.
an idiot on YouTube.
Oh,
Right,
but he's
Greg is
having
licking
fun.
the cup, the condensation.
Good stuff.
All right.
I mean, this could go on indefinitely. No.
yeah, we'll hold it and read the notes, please. What happened with the daily log?
So we basically, so November 25th. So that would be December 4th is when they were discovered. So November
Okay.
25th is the last entry into the log, and
wow.
they have the location of the ship at that point. It looks like it was at Santa Maria Island in the Azores, nearly 400 nautical miles from the point where it was located by the Canadian ship. So it
Okay.
traveled a good amount. In
Wow,
that time.
yeah, that's
It was
a
just
lot.
floating, so it was not sinking that quick.
No, it doesn't sink
It
at all.
doesn't sink
Yeah.
at all. It
That's
just
what's so
chills.
weird is that the ship is pretty much in good shape except for some water in that area. That
In
may
the
be like a
hold.
pump
Is it
rope.
still around? Like, did they put it in some museum
They
or
did
something?
find it
Okay.
eventually,
I
the
like
ruins
that.
of it, but a
Yeah.
lot's going to happen to the ship
Okay.
between
What do you
now.
mean?
Well, not a lot. Basically, the end of the story is we're going to get into the mystery of why this ghost ship. That's the crux of what this episode is. But just to
Is
know,
it like driven by ghosts?
Part of the ship, part of the crew, Davy Jones.
there's a lot of like Pirates of the Caribbean shit in this. Like, I
quite
bet this
like
was
it.
one of the stories.
You
that,
best
like,
start
inspired it.
believing in ghost stories. You're in one.
Is that Pirates of the Caribbean?
yeah.
Who says
Captain
that?
Barbosa says that to Elizabeth Swan.
Barbosa,
Keira Knightley.
Jeffrey Rush.
Jeffrey Rush.
Yeah,
who-
yeah, yeah.
Oh, how wonderful is he in that? Just
It's his
chomping on the
best
scenery.
performance. Yeah.
Certainly up there.
The ending of the ship eventually is that in 1885, so 13 years after all this stuff, the new captain, it changes hands a bunch of times, wrecked the ship off the coast of Haiti as part of an attempted insurance fraud.
Oh.
thing.
Wait, what? Somebody ended
This
up.
has nothing to do with what we're. I'm sorry, the listeners. I'm jumping way ahead, but you asked like where the ship is now.
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
basically, someone actually wrecked the ship, and then they found the wreckage, and now the wreckage, I believe, is in Canada,
Oh, cool.
where the ship was.
So
built.
somebody
Yeah, yeah.
bought the hull of the ship after it was found.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing: this ship is not in bad shape.
Hard to kill this ship.
Hard to
Yeah.
kill.
Tried.
Although there's a rumor, obviously, going around that it's cursed. So
Haunted.
probably it's
People aren't taking it around for joyrides.
not for joyrides. They keep using it as a merchant ship or whatever, but it probably didn't sell for a whole lot. Because
So how
Yeah.
bad did you try to crash this thing that you get caught? If it had such bad luck, it was known and cursed.
You mean the insurance guy, the
Yeah.
insurance fraud guy?
Yeah,
I
you just
don't
made it
know.
obvious, huh?
Yeah.
You're not gonna crash the boat right. Don't crash it at all.
Oh, that should be a T-shirt.
Yeah.
I'd wear it. All right, what's next here?
So essentially, this all seems pretty like standard for the time, but the ship goes to Gibraltar, which kind of makes sense, right, at the bottom of Spain, just
Yeah.
location-wise. And there's like a hearing essentially of like what the hell happened. But also, you need a hearing for cases like this because when you discover a wrecked ship, the people who discovered it, that Canadian ship, could get money for bringing it back
From who?
from, I guess, I don't know.
The ship owners?
Well, it wouldn't be the government.
The Ships
'cause This is like
Association?
all maritime, like international shit.
There's no laws
Yeah.
out there, baby. International waters.
I don't know. There's some sort of official thing, maybe having to do with like what was on the books from this particular trade.
Sure.
You do get money for it because essentially the Canadian ship like brought it in.
You just tow it.
They towed it. They put half of their crew on there.
That's sweet of them.
Yeah, exactly. So because it's sweet of them, they feel like they deserve a monetary.
Did they think that
Oh, I
there
see.
was foul play though? Did they feel weird being there? Like, was there any blood?
Yeah, it's
or
like, how do we
anything?
know that you guys didn't like kick these people off the fucking ship and
Yeah.
then take the
You guys
ship
are
back
guessing
in?
all the stuff.
Yeah,
It's really good.
Yeah, what if those fucks did that?
So the guy who's leading the hearing, a man named Frederick Solly Flood, and on Wikipedia it said that Flood was described by a historian of the Mary Celeste as a man whose arrogance and pomposity were inversely proportional to his IQ. I thought it was like a
That's a Kirschenbaum description I've ever heard one before. Let me tell you that.
Whoa. Not inversely proportional. I do, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I have all the negative
You have every right
qualities.
to be smug.
So Flood kind of right away says what Mae just said, which is like he doesn't like these people on the Canadian ship.
I like the cut of their Gibraltar.
Whoa. It's like they Gibraltared the facts.
Okay,
No.
Ben, don't ruin
That was not. That was totally fine. That wasn't bad at all.
I just felt forced. I don't know.
Yes, and yes, and.
Yes, and. I'm sorry. All right, so he agrees with Mae, and I also agree with Mae, that these fucks did something.
Foul play. Yeah,
Foul play.
something
Yeah.
something went on there. So essentially, they're not able to find anything though to actually convict these people or whatever. They give them some money, but like not much at all.
No, and no one from this crew was ever seen again. From the crew, the people, the husband, the wife, the
Okay.
No, Mary Celeste, all the passengers disappeared.
Dead.
yeah, did.
Dead.
Or are
Ghosts.
they? No, are they even dead? Because I'm going to go through. So there are 7 theories
Oh, wow.
that we can go over. You've named over half of them.
Nice.
Nice.
The order doesn't really matter. So one of the ones. We were. I'll start with the one where they're possibly still alive, which is that Briggs and the captain of the Dei Grazia were in cahoots in some way. And they were reported, the two captains, the captain of the Canadian ship and Briggs, were reported to have dined together a little bit before the events
Get the hell out.
Interesting.
It's not fully confirmed, but it is possible. Like, there are reports of that.
Wow.
But then where the fuck would Briggs be? Isn't he supposed to be dead? Or no?
That he disappeared and he's off in some island or whatever.
How much money could it possibly be, though, to like
Yeah,
go
but that's the
fuck
thing
off
is,
to-
yeah, the De Gratia didn't get that much money, so if they were going to split it,
Well, it
wasn't
didn't
worth
work out, but at least that would have been the idea, that they would have split those proceedings.
Oh, that's nice. Well, he owned a third of the ship.
Proceedings, profits.
Profits.
Yeah, sorry. Continue. Yeah.
This guy owned a third of the ship, though, with Briggs, right?
Yes.
So he's also given up whatever. If it was insurance fraud, he could have just crashed it and collected then, no?
That's also a possibility. So let me just give the explanation for why this one you already said, but one of the reasons, so someone named Hicks who studies this thing says if Morehouse and Briggs, Morehouse being one of the other owners of the Mary Celeste, had been planning such a, Morehouse is the captain of the Canadian ship,
Okay,
excuse
okay.
me.
Yeah.
If Morehouse and Briggs had been planning such a scam, they would not have devised such an attention-drawing mystery.
True.
Yeah.
Also, why did Briggs leave his son behind?
He never liked him. That's famous. That's
Yeah.
that's canon. He never liked that boy.
Does any father like their children? No.
No.
How awful would that be if your father did that and took the sister and just deserted you?
That was part of this the newest season of Outer Banks.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that show. Good show?
That's a great show.
What's it about? Alaska?
They're in the Outer Banks, which is in North Carolina. I thought it was
okay.
Florida, so no shame there.
Yeah.
I had to be told it was North Carolina. But it's literally just these teens that, like, there's no rules, baby. They just live in the Outer Banks, and then, like, they're chasing after gold and, like, this lost treasure, and then the rich people get involved, and they try to stop them. Like, and it's like a teenage person almost dies in every episode.
Okay.
There's a lot of attempted murder for what is a light show otherwise.
Great.
Does anyone actually get murdered?
Yeah, a lot of people die in that show.
Oh, okay.
So I guess it's not that light.
No.
But it's like soapy. They mix it in with soapiness, you know?
Was this a
Okay.
show when I came over that one time you were watching?
Yes. OBX.
It wasn't good.
Well,
To get to the insurance fraud theory, the insurance fraud speculation was more about this guy Winchester, who was one of the main owners of the Mary Celeste. So not Briggs, but that the main owner of the boat was in some way conspiring to get this ship fucked up for the insurance money.
Okay.
but again, the ship was fine. It was the people that got lost.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So unless you insured the people.
Yeah, so most of these theories are like whatever they planned was messed
Stupid.
up in some way.
Yeah,
Stupid
Poor
and
planning.
Yes.
They get insurance money by like burning down your restaurant or something. I don't know.
Yeah, like an adult.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Like a smart person who's thinking.
Yeah.
Okay.
No one starts a restaurant without at least hoping they get to burn it down.
Of course. Of course.
Most restaurants do not succeed unless they're burned down.
You have to burn it down to get them to get your profits
Yeah.
back.
There was a diner in my hometown that it was a great diner, but it like burned down and they came back like with a beautiful upgrade to it, and it's like everyone was like, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, was there a kitchen fire? Did something happen back there?
Good for them.
Good for them.
Honestly, it's smart. Like, right?
Yeah. It's
Frauding
brilliant.
the-
It's brilliant. Everyone should be
Frauding
committing some
people.
sort of insurance fraud.
Theory number 3. The De Gratia, the Canadian ship, people lured in the ship and killed them on their ship. So,
Well, yeah.
What were the De Gratia? What kind of people were these people? Canadians. Don't trust that. But what else?
you know what? I don't even know if they were Canadians.
Oh,
It's
Nova
just the ship.
Scotians? That's Canadian.
but what was their like? What kind of people were they? Like, what was their job? Were they like? Were they bringing stuff over? Wasn't it a passenger ship? What the hell
Probably
was
like crew, like trading ship people.
Like spices? Or are we talking like
it?
drugs?
Yeah, are they spicers?
Well, I don't know what they were carrying,
opiates?
actually. The other one was alcohol, but I don't know what they were carrying.
But it was like business alcohol.
Yeah, no, I don't think that they were criminals. They couldn't have been criminals because
Well,
they're
they could have
going
been
through.
if they murdered these people.
Yes, they could have been murderers, but I don't think that they were even worse robbers or whatever the alternative would be.
Kill me, just don't take my stuff.
The problem with saying that they did something bad is that it ignores the fact that De Gratia was the slower ship and that they left 8 days after the Mary Celeste. In other words, they couldn't have caught up to the Mary Celeste in order to do all these things.
I see.
Tough to plan.
Again, tough to plan, yes.
Unless the Mary Celeste was just like going in circles and someone on the boat was purposely not navigating it appropriately.
Or some sort of, oh, I see what you're saying, which is probably true that the Mary Celeste was lost in some way
Yeah. God, that would suck. Imagine being lost at sea
in the
That is
Atlantic.
not fun.
and just water.
Why would you
all
have a lot
around
more
you.
fun in the Indian Ocean?
Smaller.
Yeah, I think so. I
Pacific's
really
the
would.
worst, then
Yeah.
Atlantic, and the Arctic is fine. Arctic's basically a swimming pool. So,
Tub.
it's a hot tub. Number 4, pirates.
Yeah.
Specifically Riffian pirates, which were from northwestern Africa. And this theory is easily refuted just by the fact that they would have looted the ship. They would have taken
There was
stuff.
nothing.
right.
They just kidnapped the people.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
That's
Yeah.
dumb.
Number 5. Oh, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, because the ocean's so big, it's crazy that these two ships even saw each other.
Yeah, that's wild.
That's insane.
No doubt about it. Yeah. I guess they were kind of close to Portugal, so
Yeah, but
close to
still.
where they're eventually going, but still,
Still.
no
That's
doubt.
insane.
And not like years later.
Atlantic Ocean,
Right.
one of the bigger oceans.
I
Huge
would s-
ocean.
Top
Big.
2, in my
Top
opinion.
2 ocean.
Just one guy.
Cold and like stormy.
Ugh.
Someone
of
did
seaweed.
put through a iceberg theory, but this is too south for that.
Titanic.
Like I think someone just
It was James Cameron. He thought he
James
had another
Cameron just
movie.
threw that in there.
Mary Celeste.
Yeah.
That's the new movie. What if they just got stir crazy?
That's a great question. Number 5, stir crazy.
Ah.
Crew drank the harmful alcohol and started a mutiny.
It started because the little girl just wanted a drink. The
Little
infant
girl
girl,
just-
the little toddler.
She got thirsty.
She had to have a shot, and then everyone was like, "We're not gonna let her drink alone," and things just went from there.
God forbid they wanted a party. Who knows? They wanted to make it a cruise ship.
But they knew it was dangerous alcohol.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
The other thing is that maybe there were like fumes from the alcohol.
Oh,
that
and
could
they
have
were
made
getting
it,
like a
and they
little
were getting
crazy.
sick.
They were getting a little wild from that.
Interesting.
So
That's how bad it was, the shit?
the alcohol stuff?
Yeah, like if
I
it's
think
broken,
it's like
the
super
fumes-
toxic. Yeah.
So
I
they just
believe
like
so.
poisoned themselves and then like
Accidentally, yeah.
got the fuck off the ship. Okay.
But again, there's a lot of problems with the fact that they got off the ship. They tied the rope, presumably, to the lifeboat. In
Tied
other
what
words, they
boat?
weren't escaping really. They were like temporarily escaping.
Which
Yeah,
maybe they were
yeah.
trying to air out the fumes to come back.
Right. And
Very
that would,
possible.
that would
Yes.
also explain keeping the food on board because they're like, well, we can't eat this fucking shit. It's toxic.
What's so weird to me, I think you're totally right, but what's so weird to me is why take the navigational equipment and not the food?
Because they can't eat the food because it's toxic.
No.
They don't want to
I
take the
figure
toxicity
that's
with
in the-
them
in
on
the-
their...
The cupboards, no? The tiny cupboards.
I mean, I'm sure it's in the tiny cupboards, but it's still like the fume. Like, listen, there's no like nice packaging back in 18,
Right. Right.
whatever the fucking deuce.
18 whoopsie daisy.
Yeah.
So your theory is they temporarily were leaving the boat. They took the navigational equipment just in case, I guess, they went astray. But they didn't bring the food because the food was ruined.
But was
Yeah.
the rope severed then?
The rope was severed, yeah. And then
By somebody.
And then they were probably like, let's just get to shore because we can't eat this food. We're all fucking, our eyeballs are like singeing out because of this toxic fumes or whatever. So let's get the fuck over to Portugal. That's our best bet.
or there was bad weather, which is very possible, and the rope was cut by bad weather, not by them.
What do you mean? Like the sharp rain?
Like a
No, like it's just like a
they-
big jolt, like a big like
yeah.
yank.
Like,
Or were you sure it wasn't sharp rain?
Acid rain, man.
Acid
You used to
rain,
hear
you
about it all the
a lot.
time.
What about some sort of sea hag or like a witch or like a mischievous octopus, a siren?
Oh, a mischievous octopus. I like
Mischievous
that.
octopus.
A
siren.
A siren
Ooh, I
song,
love
you know,
that.
luring them to
siren
shore.
song to
Oh,
learn.
yeah. And they were
Sirens.
like, well, we got to go over there. This bitch is hot.
Yeah.
For sure. I like how we just went from by far the most logical explanations to a complete 180. Sirens is great. I like that because
Sirens
that's
is
luring.
fun. And it would just make you like leave the ship.
And it makes much more sense than like a sea monster or a kraken because
Well, a kraken, unless he was plucking everybody off board.
Exactly,
but not
exactly.
didn't-
Yeah.
didn't damage
Wait,
anything.
what's a kraken?
The kraken's like the giant octopus.
Oh, okay. Like an Ursula.
Well, without like the booming vocals.
Ursula's very talented.
She's good.
Poor unfortunate soul, though. Yeah, I think Siren has got to be my top
I
there.
love
Siren's
that. I
good.
didn't read anything that said siren, and I appreciate that addition.
Well, I'm a learned man.
Well, I don't know. Some people would say about you that you were arrogant and pomposity are inversely proportional
To my IQ.
to his IQ.
Man, what an insult.
That's awful.
I love
That
insults where
is-
it's like so sophisticated
Oh.
and
Yeah.
prissy. They're great.
Oh, they're so good. That person, if he heard that, he'd be like, whew,
Yeah.
that stings.
Well, he was so dumb, he probably didn't even get it.
Too arrogant to think it's about him.
All right. So in terms of so it's a ghost ship. It's floating by itself in the water. These other fucks just kind of happen upon it. They tow it to shore.
Yeah.
This is quite a mystery. I'll say it.
Yeah.
This is a biggie in terms of history and mysteries.
You know what? It's always the ones where it's like little things keep throwing you off. Like why would this?
Yeah.
If that, why this?
Right. This is like Roanoke on the sea. Roanoke
Yeah.
by
Yes.
the sea.
Roanoke.
Well, I guess Roanoke is by the
Roanoke.
sea. Damn.
Roanoke is
By
by
the
the
sea.
sea. Roanoke in the sea, on the sea.
Yeah.
Roanoke on the sea.
Roanoke
go.
on a boat.
Roanoke.
Wow.
Roanoke.
Damn, man.
You can't make fun of me with that childish pun.
Okay. That's where we spice things up a bit. You know what I mean? I don't know what honestly, after reading everything, what would you say is your number one?
So I'm
The
gonna
abandoning?
add one more thing before my opinion, and this also is like sort of related to the abandoning ship theory. Briggs abandoned the ship after a false sounding. Remember the sounding rod on the deck. Because of a malfunction of the pumps or another mishap, which gave a false impression that the vessel was taking on water rapidly. So the fact that
Okay.
it was that the water was breaking in, a severe waterspout strike before the abandonment could explain the amount of water in the ship and the ragged state of her rigging and sails, the low barometric pressure. Basically, they were in danger of sinking, but not so in danger. It was like fixable.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? I guess
But
the
they
fumes-
thought that it was going to be way worse. They were like, our ship is sinking right now.
sinking, but let's like wait it out and tie
Okay.
ourselves to see if it's going to actually
Not
sink.
sink.
Yes.
Huh. It's always the ones that honestly are the most complicated, but the most realistic and the most sciencey. That's like, all right, fine.
So like sirens.
Sirens.
Sirens
Yeah,
is
yeah.
probably
It's
it.
got to be sirens.
The other added thing is that Briggs was like a super experienced captain, as we
Yeah.
alluded to in the
we
beginning.
love saying that. What was the other one where like they're always very experienced then?
Dyatlev's Pass.
Dyatlev's Pass.
Yeah.
Right.
Very experienced lead. Amelia Earhart. Amazing pilot.
Right.
Wow.
Wow, people can make mistakes.
I think my theory, I like Mae's a lot with the something happened that caused them to drive off that also may have damaged the food in some way.
Yeah.
Because then that explains that contradiction
Right.
of not bringing the food, but bringing the navigational stuff. So I like
Yeah.
that.
Something what? What was yours? What are you doing?
Similar, kind of what Mae said.
He's
Cat's
like a
warm.
matador.
He wants to knock something, but he doesn't have anything left on the table. We're talking about Gerg. Sorry, guys, if you're not
Gerg.
watching, if you're listening. All right. So what's your favorite one?
That the fumes ruined the
Made
food
them crazy.
while I don't know about made them crazy. I don't know if I buy that.
But like
that
we got to get out of here. This like
we
got to
get out of
if
here,
we're
but
around
it
these
is something
fumes.
that maybe can evaporate or some shit.
Yeah.
Not get out of here permanently.
And
Right.
then the sharp rain cut the rope.
Sharp rain.
They got lost.
Sharp rain cuts the rope. Yeah.
You sure it was a sharp rain?
I feel like it was sharp rain.
Are you thinking of hail?
No, I'm thinking of like when it rains
Little knives.
tiny knives.
Knife rain.
Could you
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
imagine if that were a real thing?
Yeah.
Just like you'd be like, oh my god, we all have to stay in our houses because it's about to
raining
rain
knives.
knives. That
Should I
would
go to
suck.
this show? It might rain knives later.
Should I risk getting caught in the knives for a 10-minute spot?
The answer is yes.
You gotta do it.
Yep.
We don't
We're
say no.
professionals.
All right.
I would say we were ahead.
I would say. I mean, we had a lot of good guesses.
We had a lot of good. Yeah.
I was really impressed. I just want to say I was very impressed with how you guys got the guesses without reading the notes, which is, I mean, not impressed with that, but how you pretty much surmised everything.
We've been in the game for a minute now.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? 30 some odds episodes in.
I remember Roanoke, you guys were just stumbling around. You're like,
what's going on?
whoa, yeah.
What do they do? Where to go? That was so us. And
Yeah,
now
your voices have changed too over the
Yeah.
course of 30 episodes.
Yeah, we were ahead, I guess. I think I'm right though
What?
about my the fumes. Getting away from the fumes.
Listen, they had the broken alcohol. It makes sense.
Makes sense.
All right.
All right.
All
Bye,
right.
everybody.
Toodaloo.